Okay, so here we go. I'm going to continue in this vein of analysis of the comparison of the book of the course of the heavenly luminaries, okay, the sun, and modern science dealing with the equinoxes, the solstices, the paths, dawn and dusk. So once again, I have two versions of the Book of Enoch. Maybe not versions, but copies done by different, published by different people or groups, whatever. And they both say the same thing: the Book of the Course of the Heavenly Luminaries. This is basically chapter 72 in Roman numerals. L is 50, the X's are 10s, and the I's are 2s. So that's 72. And then it says 282. 50 plus XXX is 30, that's 80 and 2. Okay, so it's a 10 chapter book on the book of the course of the heavenly luminaries. Okay, the sun. It can do only good for you. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose, and really everything to lose by not blending this ancient book with your knowledge of modern science. It expands your understanding because it uses very much different perspectives of the same cognizance, and it expands your knowledge, okay? It does not detract from modern science, it adds to it because of discussions of things like portals, use of different metric for measuring a day and half and days of apart. Okay, so it's very much, and it's also more true to the original. What it gives you the original divine celestial perspective, not to reject your earthly, but to add to it. It gives you full knowledge. Okay, you get a fuller knowledge of understanding, not something that's compromised. Okay, and they're in harmony. So you don't have to look at these ancient books as a threat any more than modern science or vice versa. They blend, they harmonize. Okay, so I'm gonna look once again, go back and forth, and as you look, this is the basic showing of the Earth movement around the sun. It gives you equatorial measurements, what the sun is directly in terms of its straight path of sunlight aimed at during different times, summer solstice. Okay, you have the autumnal equinox, then you have the winter solstice, and then you have the vernal equinox. Okay, so the vernal would be the fall, of course. I mean, it would be the spring, the vernal. Okay, the winter solstice would be no doubt when, as you see, because of the angle of the sun, the tilt, the movement, time, the winter solstice is once again when there is the longest night and the shortest day. The summer solstice, as you can see, as discussed in chapter 72, the book of the courses of the heavenly luminaries in Enoch, the Word of God, once again, when the day is the longest and the night is the shortest, okay? And then once again, the autumnal equinox is the fall. It has to do with when we fall back and we do daylight saving time, and then in the spring, the vernal equinox, when we what? When we spring forward. Okay, so all four are harmonious. And once again, as I said, our calendar uses a sun-centered reference in terms of the movement of the Earth. As I said before, our data and metric tends to be built on centering everything around the Earth's movement around the sun, okay, in terms of data, and a 24-hour metric measurement. The Bible, and rather the Book of Enoch as well, uses a metric of the sun moving through its portals, but it is still a parallel and the same harmonious statement. And once again, you come up with 31-day months and a 364-day year. We use a 365-day year once again to compensate, as is known on our calendar, for the use of a leap year and a certain loss of. I would say it takes. How would you say longer for the sun to circle, rather longer for the earth to circle the sun. So we go through by 365 days. But then we also have a leap year when we add a day to the calendar. And in my measurement, over a 4-year period, that equates to 6 hours each year. It takes longer for the sun for the earth to revolve around the sun. Okay, so that one day is added, which would equate to 24 hours over 4 years, which will require a leap year. Okay? or is it, well, once again, this is my measurement, but in the sense that should be, I'm going to look up leap year just to make sure my data is correct. And we'll stop for now.